Hello, everybody. It's me, the Angry Challenger, once again sitting here with.
Hey, it's the dreaded challenger. Excited to
A
give you another pod.
yes, yes, yes. Hopefully, you enjoyed our other pods. If you heard them. If you didn't, go back and look at. Go check them out
Get
on
on it.
SoundCloud. Go watch them on YouTube so you can see all those JPEGs I painstakingly screenshotted from my library of games.
And let me tell you, I hope when you listen to them that you have as much fun listening to them as we have making them. Because
Yes.
we do this just for fun. We've been doing this since 1987, just for
Yes,
fun.
yeah, since 1987. Even though I am 29 years old, a year after I was born, I started recording these podcasts. So,
Exactly. I was a
yes.
small child when we started making podcasts about all kind of fighting games.
I pretty much came out of the womb with a headset. So,
Yeah, yeah.
painful for my mom, but whatever.
I could do a 360 before I could walk.
That's impressive, sir. I believe it though.
Right on. Break it down. What are we going to talk about today,
Well,
Angry?
well, today we're going to talk about organizing tournaments, our experience organizing. Just in case any of you don't know, the new challengers, we're not just a couple of dudes pretending to be knowledgeable about fighting games. We're also a couple of dudes that used to be in Kandahar, Afghanistan, hosting tournaments in our local USO. And today, we want to give you some advice that we have kind of like stirred up, mixed together, and concocted for you into a power potion of wisdom. And we're going to talk to you about how we do things. Now, our background is we've been hosting tournaments for, what do you want to say, Dreaded, about 3 years, 4 years now?
Yeah, yeah, I remember. We have YouTube videos. If you go to our YouTube page for the new challengers, you can scroll all the way back. There's plenty of tournament footage, but all the way back to our very first Super Street Fighter for Arcade Edition 2012 footage, which was a lot of fun. So we've been doing it ever since then. That was probably back in 2013, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So we've been
Yeah,
doing it
like
for
early 2013, maybe 2012.
So we've hosted tournaments overseas. We've hosted
And
them.
not just fighting game tournaments, too.
Oh, no, 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 not at all. I mean, we started specifically fighting game tournaments, but then we moved into other things because not
You
everybody.
got to give the people you got to give the people what they want.
That's true. And the troops, they love Call of Duty. They love Mario Kart. So we give them that.
The internationals, they love the FIFA.
Yes.
That, let me tell you, that's a long tournament right there. And when
Yeah.
people demand Madden tournaments, yeah,
That's forever. We had a
yeah.
64-man Madden tournament. That was pretty interesting.
Whether that's like 3 weeks, it was like its own season.
Yeah.
But anyway, what we're going to talk to you guys about is how to run a fun, exciting, effective, fulfilling fighting game tournament
Yes. I think we should start at the very basics here, Dreaded. You
from the
have
very beginning.
advertising. Now, I don't know how you want to advertise. A lot of people like flyers. We have social media and all that. But how you advertise is up to you. I can't tell you or anyone else how to advertise best because you've got to know your audience better than anyone else. If you're hosting tournaments on a college campus, then you obviously want to hit up, your anime club, your video game clubs. You want to post up in a commons area, something like that. So you want to maybe use flyers, you want to use social media, you want to use things like that. For us in Kandahar, a military-based kind of situation, you can't really post flyers wherever you want, and you can't do that in most places anyway. So you got to make sure you know where to get the right permissions and things like that. Stuff to think about. But in my opinion, social media is pretty much the way to go for advertising.
Yeah,
It's the
man.
cheapest way to do it. Anybody can get on PowerPoint, make a flyer, and export it as a JPEG and post it on Twitter, on Facebook, on MySpace. Do we still use that? We're not doing that anymore. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, all right.
I do not
But
have a
yeah,
MySpace account.
we can post everywhere. Post all that information everywhere, and of course, word of mouth. That's viable as well.
Absolutely. So, yeah, once you get the word out, let's talk about scheduling this thing and setting it up
Okay.
because that's the next phase.
Yes.
You got to know your audience. Got to make sure that they show up expecting to have the tournament ready. So before they start showing up, you got to be set up. So
Yes.
let's just say you have a couple game systems. You got to make sure the game systems are all set up, ready to go, tested. Put the game in, make sure everything's working. Get your controllers working. If you have them, which you should, have some backup controllers. If people are going to come, make sure that you tell them, "Hey, we have a PS3 or a Xbox 360 or a PS4, what have you," and test that stuff before the tournament starts to make sure everybody's going to be copacetic. Make sure that the screen, the sound, if you're using a projector, make sure it's all set up before they show up. So when they get there, you start getting ready to go. Very important. Make sure you have everything tested. So you don't want people waiting when you say, hey, the tournament's going to start at 8 or sign up's going to start at 7:30, and you're still there doing tech support.
Yeah, you definitely want to make it so that when people come in, they can see. It's a good aesthetic. They can see the games going. They can see the demo screens rolling. People can be practicing or whatever. It's a better feeling than if you walk into a tournament, nothing is set up, nothing is ready to go, signups are still rolling. That turns people off. That turns people away. It's little things like
People
that.
just walk out.
Yeah, and I mean, you might overlook things like that, like, well, I'm just here to have fun or I'm just here to play. But the more professional of an event that you have, the more likely you're going to get people coming back a second, third, fourth time.
The more serious you take it, the more serious they'll take it, the more serious fun everybody's going to have.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Of course, the next phase of the setup is the human element.
Yes,
And it's important when you're scheduling this thing. Let's say you're going to have it on a Friday night at your local college campus or USO or whatever have you. When you put those flyers out, make sure that you put a tournament start time and a sign up time. People get there, a little bit, they trickle in. Well, you hype the event. We'll talk about hyping. But, they'll trickle in. Make sure you have a designated sign up time. Signing up ahead of the tournament, you don't just start, you don't just go because you need to set up the brackets. And we'll talk about brackets next, but you got to have that time so that everyone gets settled, everyone gets ready to play, and then you can go on. Once you have everyone signed up, you have an idea of how long it's going to take. You can set up the brackets, and then you can gather everyone that's ready to go and address them. Say, hey, the signups are over. We're going to explain the rules. We're going to set up the brackets, and then we're going to get going. Make sure you have a timeline for all those things.
yeah, I see a lot of pitfalls. I've been in a few tournaments at conventions. One of the biggest pitfalls is they don't have a clear time when you can come sign up. They don't have a clear time when the tournament starts. And there's no timeline. And when there's no timeline, that's annoying because if there's no timeline before the tournament even starts, then how long is that tournament going to run? And we'll get into running like times and all that later, but I just want to express the importance of having a clear, defined timeline because once signups are over, signups are over. That's it.
They should be, yeah.
If you have a certain amount of televisions and games, understand that you can only have a certain amount of entrants. I've been to some convention tournaments where they want to include everyone. They just have like 133 people. They start out and there's like 30. Everybody comes at the last minute, and then they all sign up. Hey, if you have a limit of 64 people, you have a limit of 64 people. First come, first serve. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not going to, a lot of people are going to be upset about it, but you got to run it efficiently. If you start going over your limits, then you're not going to have a prime event.
The next thing we're going to talk about, and this will feed right into it, the reason that you prep first is so that you have a fair bracket setup.
Yes.
When you set up the brackets, you're going to want even brackets, obviously. You don't want to have odd numbers because then it's going to be weird. But once you have your bracket set up, then you have your bracket set. And it's best to have a dry erase board. And your bracketologist, or whoever is in charge of the brackets, will write the names up there. They write the little lines like it's the Final Four, like it's the Sweet 16 or whatever. They draw it up so that people can see, oh man, I'm here in this tournament and I'm going to wait and I'm going to watch until it is my turn. So once you have all the people set and you have all the pools set, everyone knows, okay, I am one of 64 people that's going to play. I need to wait for my turn. If you don't have that set and if you don't have that out, people are going to come in and come out, and it's not fair for the people who are signing up wanting a fair tournament. If people are leaving and you got to reset the brackets, and then pretty soon it's not going to be a fair tournament. So once you have the sign up time, the brackets set up, your knowledge of the brackets, have it up, have it ready to go, and then once the tournament starts, man, you just have it on automatic, and make sure the bracket master keeps it going.
There's a lot of phone apps and computer programs you can use to automatically make your brackets for you, and those are fantastic. But to go back to what Dreaded was saying about the dry erase board, just being able to see where you are in the tournament is huge for people, and it takes a lot of stress off the organizers. You don't want people coming up to you every 30 seconds asking, when is my match? Where am I at? Who am I going against? What station am I at? Where do I go now? Where am I in this tournament? You know, am I seated? Am I not seated? Do I have a bye? What's going on? If you have a dry erase board and all their names up there and someone maintaining that, there's not going to be a question as to where people are in the tournament. They can just look and see, and that will keep people away from you. Because I know I've been in situations where I've had to ask the organizer, and he had the brackets on his phone, and people kept dropping out, and he had to keep messing around with his phone. And I kept asking him, like, well, where am I, man? I mean, you know, I know you said I had a bye, but 2 people just left, so where am I supposed to be? And he had to sit there and keep dabbing around. It's easier for everybody. You can all have access to the board. And when you make those brackets, make sure they're made before the tournament starts. Don't get everyone's
Oh yeah.
name, and then, hey, the tournament starts at 8 p.m. Okay, now we're going to make the brackets at 8, because then you're going to have a bunch of people who are just standing around. People want to
Yeah.
start when the tournament is supposed to start. They don't want to hang out and watch you write on a board or type on your phone or computer. They
Yeah.
want to know. As soon as that 8 o'clock rolls around, you want to say, these are the rules. You and you, you and you, you and you, go to your stations. Let's rock and roll this, you know.
It's definitely easier if you have two people. One on crowd control, one on brackets. The more people you have running the tournament, the better. But at least two, it makes it a lot better because if you're running the brackets and having to run the station and watch over the people and everything, it makes it hard. Get two people, have one dedicated bracket master who announces, okay, this person's going there, this person's now in loser's bracket, and he's seated right here. Running that thing, running that dry erase board. Don't let anyone else touch it. And then the other person running the stations and making the calls and everything. It just makes everything run so much smoother.
Yes.
And I want to talk about next. We're talking about brackets, brackets, brackets. If you're gonna run a tournament, make yourself into somewhat of a bracketologist, a bracket scientist, if you will, because there's all kind of different kinds of tournaments out there. There's point tournaments. There's round robin tournaments. There's single elimination, which is the most common playoff style. Or there's the double elimination, what they use at Evo, where they have winners brackets and they have losers brackets, where you have to lose twice to get knocked off. There's round robin. There's all kind of different ones. Take some time, research them. They're all kind of different fun. Different games actually lend themselves to different styles of brackets. So, do you want me to go into Smash and the party games, or
Yeah.
let's yeah,
Yeah. Let's
go
go over
ahead.
that a little bit because, as you said earlier, we don't just host Street Fighter tournaments. We don't just host Mortal Kombat. We've done Call of Duty. We've done Mario Kart. We've done NBA Jam. All those tournaments run differently. Mario Kart, I can't just make 4 people go in there and say, okay, well, you beat you and you beat you, so you two advance. No, what I was doing is doing like a strike system. So if you come in first or second place, then you don't get a strike. The other people get a strike and move on. Be creative with how you make your brackets, but also have multiple brackets ready and styles for when the tournament starts, because you don't know exactly how many people you're going to get before the tournament starts. Once that
Exactly.
time hits, though, anybody that wants to enter after the fact, that's really your call, but I recommend that you have a definite cutoff time. For us in the USO, we're just trying to help people have fun. So the cutout time is kind of loose. So what we do instead is after the first round is over, I don't accept any more entrants. That gives people a little bit more time to jump in.
Yeah, and it gives you some time to adjust your bracket.
Yes. Now, for
Yeah.
party games like
Right.
Smash Brothers or PlayStation All Stars, rest in peace, PlayStation All Stars, what you can do
We-
is stock battle. Now, here's the problem with PlayStation All Stars: stock battle is not good. Now, you have a case of two games that are very similar in nature, have the same type of competitive feel, but not the same concept. I knew a guy, he tried to run a PlayStation All Stars tournament like a Smash Brothers tournament, and I took the organizer aside and I said, "Hey man, have you ever hosted a PlayStation All Stars tournament?" And he told me no, but it was pretty much the same as Smash. And I told him, "No, it's not the same as Smash. PlayStation All Stars doesn't have a stock time limit." That's important for party games because in party games you have this arena, you're jumping around. People will run down the clock. You don't want to have some guy or girl jumping around playing keep away for 10 minutes, and that's exactly what happened the first round of the PlayStation All Stars tournament. We had to do time matches. So if you're going to do a party game, please implement time into the equation there. Because if there's no
Yeah,
time
absolutely.
in the equation, then it's just going to run for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, and definitely. So party games allow you, because of their unique attributes. You can have 4 to 8 people, all at once or whatever. And there's some different ways. Like if you get a ton of people for a Smash tournament, there's ways that you can get as many people through as possible and make it fun for everybody. But it's up to you for to research. It's a little bit of trial and error, but no two games really bracket out the same way. As long as we're about to finish up on this bracket thing, I want to talk about the difference between single elimination and double elimination real quick. Single elimination, you go head to head, and if you lose, you're out. It's like March Madness or whatever. You just live to fight in the next round. It's the playoffs or whatever, which is cool. But let's say you have an hour to kill and you got like 8 people, and you want to do it double. First of all, you gotta be an expert bracketologist to do double elimination where if you lose, you go to the next round, and then it obviously, of course, the biggest thing is it doubles the time that you're going to play. If you want to do double elimination to give everyone a second chance, it's going to double your time. But you got to have the bracket set before you go in, and make sure and you can count. You should be able to see it in the brackets. There's some great websites out there, like Jarvis said about the apps, where you can print out a double elimination bracket, and you can see, okay, the loser of this one goes here. And then when you get to grand finals, you play, and then you get the reset, and then you play again. That's the way Evo is. But it doubles your time, and it can be a lot of fun if you have the time to do it. Those are just things to consider.
Yes. Brackets for me, I'm not the bracket master like Dreaded is. So I count on him to provide me with the brackets. But when he's not here, I've just got to go online and just look for brackets or ask somebody for help. It's just that simple. I'm not going to go into the tournament and run some lackluster event with messed up brackets. You want to do your research, just like you want to do your research on different games. Like if you've never hosted a Call of Duty tournament before, go online and read how do they do their brackets, how do they do their timing, how do they do their rounds. You can do
And how do they
anything.
do their rules?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do any tournament, any tournament. Just put in the time to do research. And if nobody's ever done it before, then experiment. Do what you know based off of your experience. I've been hosting tournaments for a while, and no, they're not giant Evo-sized tournaments, but we've had a 64-man tournament. We've had weeks where we've had 27 to 30 people coming in twice a week to play. And we're in a busy USO center with hundreds of people wandering around. Bringing me to my next point, if you have a tournament, whether it be on a campus, in a USO, at a convention, consolidate the area in which you're actually having the tournament. Don't have it spread out all over the place. Tell everybody where they need to be and expect them to be there. Make a definite time limit for how long they have before their next match starts. And at the same time, be fair about that. If somebody doesn't know when they play, how can you expect them to be there? That's where the dry erase board comes in handy. Or something written down or projected on a screen so they can all see it.
Yeah. And once everything is together and the people are together, and everyone's kind of keyed on the tournament master, who's the MC, the guy who's running it, man, things go so much faster and so much smoother because you're not hunting people down. They're ready to go. They want to play. And on top of that, it gets so much more fun and hype and exciting because everyone's watching that main screen. Everybody's watching everybody else. It makes for a better tournament. Make sure you keep it compact, just like Angry said.
And if you're in a really busy area, like a recreation center or a convention, you're going to have a lot of people rubbernecking, spectators coming in to watch. If that's the case, you're going to want to have a good color commentator to entertain everyone, because I can guarantee you right now that, especially at a convention, if someone loses, they're going to leave. There's other things going on in that area that they can do. They don't need to hang out. If you want people to hang out, you want to attract people to where you are, you're going to need an announcer, a good announcer, and a commentator, and something like a main screen so people can play on and everyone can see at the same time.
Yeah, it helps if you have a microphone or some sort of PA system, or if you're just ridiculous and tall and you can just talk over everybody. It really
Yes.
does help.
Yes,
It
it
keeps
does.
you. It keeps not for you to be the center of attention, but to keep everybody's attention on the action and everything flowing. They'll key to you, and it'll make it more fun. Now, my favorite part, Jarvis just mentioned it. My favorite part is the commentary. I like to be a bracketologist, but Angry is hilarious, and we just have a lot of fun hyping up the action. We'll talk about how Blanca's throwing them sparks, or Ken's throwing more Shoryukens.
Or the fact that Ryu
We'll
is so
make
poor.
jokes. Oh, we'll just throw in jokes. Hakan killed my family. Stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It keeps everyone keyed into the action. We have fun doing it, and people have fun listening to us for some reason. I guess.
Yeah.
Even if we're doing something like Call of Duty or Mario Kart, the extra added color commentary. If you know what you're doing, it adds that extra layer of spice that makes people want to come back.
Yeah.
I think one of our hypest tournaments was that PlayStation All Stars, where a guy who'd never played the game won with Fat Princess.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
that video is up on our interest page.
Yes. On
I
YouTube.
definitely encourage you to check that one out.
It's
But we were
hilarious.
hyping it up, and people who had never played that game before were so into it. And that's my favorite part of the tournament right
We
there.
got a lot of people playing. Personally, it's something I like to do when I host tournaments in the USO, is I enjoy wearing a turkey hat. I wear the same hat every week. So when I'm wearing the turkey hat, soldiers will come up to me and ask, "What tournament do we have today?" Because I'm wearing a turkey hat. When I wear that turkey hat, I'm like 7 feet tall, walking around.
Now,
And
listen, you
everyone
don't
can
have
see
to
me.
go out and buy a hat that's shaped like a turkey. Do your own thing
Yes.
that identifies you as the MC, or make it different. That's I love that turkey hat.
When I go to tournaments and conventions, a lot of times, like say Screw Attack or someone's hosting a tournament, they'll all wear their same T-shirts, something like that. If you're going to host a tournament in a busy area with a lot of people walking around, you want to make absolutely certain that you have something on that differentiates you from everybody else in the crowd.
So that you are the MC.
Yes, I might dress up like Kick for a dive kick tournament, or I might wear a turkey hat. In any case, I want to be noticeable so people know where to go to ask questions and where to go if a controller breaks. They can run up to me, "Hey, my controller doesn't work," and I can run across the USO, get them a new controller, and look like a guy, a grown man, in a turkey hat sprinting across the USO. But, I do it for the truth.
Now, yeah, you do. And like we said before, it's good to prep and have all these things ready. But it's good to have like spare peripherals on hand because you never know what's going to happen. Case in point, Evo 2015,
Ugh.
Momochi and Gamerby were locked in an epic struggle. And Momochi, he was in grand finals, the last match. It was tournament point for Evo. There was like $100,000 on the line, and his stick dropped off. Like his stick got disconnected,
Uh,
and it dropped. That's on him though. I mean, that's not on the tournament. But stuff like that might happen. Now I think he got his wife's stick and went on to actually they dropped the round like because his
Relationship
stick
goals.
malfunctioned. Yeah,
relationship goals, man.
yeah. Seriously, if he hadn't have been, you know, fortunately married to one of the only female gamers at the tournament, who knows
Shout
where
out to
how much he would be
Kayane
right
as
now. But
well.
he had to give up a round. He had to give up a round, but he came back and took it from Gamerby. But the point is, be prepared for those kind of things, for glitches. Have an extra controller on hand just in case.
Yeah, you
And listen,
definitely don't want to.
you're going to learn from experience about how long these tournaments take. Definitely, it's going to be a learning experience the first time you go through, but you'll get there. You'll start to get the hang of it. The more you do them, the better you'll get. But hopefully, we've helped you out today and got you on a good path to really start throwing some amazing tournaments.
All I got to add to that is people are going to leave. Don't let it hurt your feelings. Just keep it rolling because there are people still there playing. I know at the USO they have a lot of events going on, so people they'll just walk out. Just be ready for people to leave the tournament. Just be ready for people not to like what you're doing. Be ready for people to question how you do your rules. It's fine. It's your event. People are still going to have fun. That's all I got to say on that.
Right on. Well, I think this is going to be a help to someone to really start something special, and I can't wait to hear about all of the just the awesome tournaments that people are going to start throwing out there because it's a lot of fun. You can really create an amazing scene for whatever game you're playing in the place you know you are.
Yeah, you just got to remember that some of the pitfalls, not having a timeline, not being prepared, not setting your brackets up early enough, can really kill the whole mood of the tournament. And be prepared if you might have a lot of people come in. Have a plan for that. Have a plan for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, the more professional you are and the more serious you take this, the more serious everyone else is going to take it, and they're going to have some serious fun.
Yeah, wear a turkey hat. I mean, go ahead and do that. Carry an alpaca in your pocket. That'll work too, right?
You know what? It's worked for us in the past.
It has worked for us. And if you want to see our tournaments we've hosted in the USO, you can go check out our YouTube channel. I'll be posting up updates here on Facebook. I had to push back the Call of Duty tournament. That's kind of lame, but
Yeah, what can you do?
No, what can
So,
you
do we
do?
have any shout outs before we sign out?
Shout outs for today. Well, maybe not necessarily a shout out. Have you been watching the whole beta issue with Street Fighter V?
Yeah,
Yeah, they had to take
they
that
just
down,
they,
man.
they took it down. A lot of people couldn't get on. That's
I know.
crazy. Street Fighter V released a beta as of July 27th, 2015. They had to take that sucker down.
They did.
Honestly, I think everyone was trying to get up in it on it, and it was causing the server so much issues. But you know what? I'm not salty. You know
Not
why?
either.
They don't have to give us a beta.
They don't.
They're doing it to test it out. And you know what? Street Fighter V on release will be that much better for it.
Yeah, they know now. They know what their servers can handle, and I'm glad that this didn't happen when the game was officially released, because that would have been terrible.
I have a shout out.
What's up?
I want to shout out to GameStop. I know they're a big corporate store and whatnot, but I go to my local GameStop and I tell them, I give them my business card. I'm a founding member of the New Challengers. We're helping troops overseas with video game tournaments and what have you, and they have donated lots of like promotional material and different cool things, posters and lanyards and bracelets, and it's just some stuff that we give out for participants and winners of tournaments. So shout out to them.
Yes. Thank you,
They've
GameStop.
been really cool. That's another tip. If you actually are doing tournaments for some sort of nonprofit, you can go to places like GameStop and just explain what you're doing, and usually the manager will be really cool and give you some concessions. I think last time I went there, they got a lot of those GameStop bracelets, and we gave them out to participants of a tournament. Some stuff we gave away as grand prize. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can
So
even
shout out to GameStop.
Go to places like Best Buy and FYE too, and sometimes they can help you out with movie posters and stuff like that. Pretty much, people like prizes. Think about where you
Sweetens
are
the
when
deal.
you give out the prizes, because I know out here a lot of people don't really like giant posters because they don't really have anywhere to put them. But hey, the USO walls could use a few posters, and we put them up.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I guess as far as like actual shout-outs have to go, I'm always a fan of Focus Attack. They sell really great products. I've taken my hitboxes and I've customized them quite a bit. And all the parts I've ever bought are from Focus Attack. They have really fast shipping. I've never had an issue with them, and they have a customer appreciation program. So the more stuff you buy from them, you get points. It's really great.
Awesome.
So I think we're going to close out here today. We've done our shout outs. Don't really have anything else to add. It's really sad to hear about the beta for Street Fighter V, but hopefully they get everything cleaned up and ready to go.
Thoughts and prayers, Capcom.
We're Godspeed, Capcom. Godspeed.
We're behind you.
Yes. Well, like we're actually behind you, like pushing you, like hurry up.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I guess at this point we do the whole until the next challenge thing. Until the next
Thank you
challenge.
so much for listening. Till the next
Yes.
challenge.
Until the next challenge.